This is a Jmix exclusive.
When Tupac got out of jail and come to death row, did you see any jealousy by other artists?
Well, that's a big thing right there. I personally saw no jealousy. What I did, one thing I knew is that things changed the very day this guy showed up. I was there the day he showed up. I was probably one of the first engineers, second engineers to see him. In fact, he got out, he came into the studio, there was no one there, and we had a face-to-face. All right. Minutes later, I got called into Suge's office and sent to Compton to pick up some marijuana. For real. I'm like, fuck, I'm an engineer, but the thing about it is a friend of mine was associated with Suge, and this guy, he had a lot of marijuana. I knew where he was. And so Suge knew that and said, okay, come here. I need for you to go to Compton. Go bring me back some marijuana. I probably came back with like a half a pound of weed, and Tupac bought it all. So as far as the jealousy, none. I do know that things started getting quite heated towards the, I'll say the latter part, like after Dr. Dre left, things started actually, to tell you the truth, things started falling apart. Or the appearance that things may start falling apart. You start seeing little cracks and stuff like that. I don't know if I'm making any sense.
Well, there are rumors of artist punishment at Death Row Records. Did you ever see anything like this happen, or did you ever hear of anything like that?
Yeah. There was. I witnessed a couple of incidences. One in particular is that of Sam Snead, and I think the reason was he ended up in another artist's video, and they had this meeting. I know on the way into the meeting, everybody seemed okay or whatever. On the way out of the meeting, he was all lumped up. And me, I asked no questions. I just kept it moving. There was incidences where unsigned artists would come to the studio and sit in on sessions, and then they get to writing and stuff like that. And some of the artists themselves didn't like that. They didn't appreciate that. They're like, who are you? Why are you here? Why are you writing to my song, to my material? There was a point when, if we're talking about jealousy and things happening around Death Row, it was during the All Eyes on Me sessions, where a lot of restrictions was placed on everyone in the building.
Is it fair to say that there were a certain number of rules working for Death Row Records and going to the studio?
Yeah. One of them was you had to get searched every day as you walked in and out of the place. Security was basically looking for not necessarily weapons or anything like that, but like cassette tapes, DAT tapes, CDs, anything that would leak a song or an album or anything like that. There seemed to be an issue with either the artists themselves or a particular group of individuals just taking the material to the swap meets, and it shows up at the swap meet before it shows up at the time, let's say, Virgin or the Warehouse Records, you know what I mean, before it shows up in the marketplace for the public. And so they were really, really strict on that. And that was before Tupac's death. That was during the time when Tupac was actually, when he was released. It wasn't, that's why I say there was restrictions, but these restrictions fell in place only, to my knowledge, only when Tupac showed up. Once he showed up, it was like, no, this is not happening, this ain't happening, this ain't happening. Assistants would have a key to the tape vault. No one assistant could go in the tape vault by himself, so we would have to go get the key from the night studio manager, who would open the door so that we could go in, come down. Oh my gosh, it was really strict. In some cases, we knew ahead of time. Let's say, for instance, Tupac is going to be in from 3 in the afternoon until 8 at night. That's his work schedule. So at 3 o'clock, as an assistant or as an engineer, you get there, you go in the tape vault, and you take out all of his 2 inches, all of his DATs, his cassettes, and you'd lay it out in the control room. He'd show up, he'd say, okay, I'm going to work on this song, this song, this song, this song. Okay, so we take those songs, set them aside, and take all the remaining songs back to the vault, put it back on the shelf, and then we'd take out like 2 or 3. At the time, we worked with DAT tapes, so we'd take out the 2, 3, or 4 DAT tapes that's associated with those songs, make sure there was room to record any revisions, and we rolled like that. Everything was written down, that was checked out, and then at the end of the session, I think Tupac was an exception when it came to his work, because he could get a cassette or a CD of the song. But anybody else, if they got caught with one of those CDs, DATs, or cassettes on their person, well, those those incidences where people get lumped up, it would go down. It is not played.
All right. Thank you for that. I hope the statute of limitations it's passed on the weed thing.
Well, you know what? Whether you do or you don't, for me, I see, I was talking to Tommy the other day, right? And Tommy was telling me that he just wrote this book, right? And, he showed me the draft of the book, and he says, okay, but I'm going to edit this, and I'm going to edit that. And I got to thinking, I'm like, but why? So, I don't want to ruffle any feathers. I said, well, aren't you telling the truth? Is there anything in here that's fabricated? He said, well, I could understand, he had a really good relationship with Suge, so I could understand you don't want to put anything in the book to taint your relationship, okay? And I think that also in writing or even doing an interview, I'm clear conscious and as aware as I can be, to where I don't have to make any mistakes. I can just tell the truth, tell what I know. There's a whole lot of stuff that I don't know that you may hear from someone else, and a whole lot. My experience is different from the other guy. Some engineers got slapped around. I never had that. Some engineers didn't get paid. I never had that experience. So all I can do is just tell about my experience and the time I had over there. I can't speak for anybody else but me.
This is a Jmix exclusive.
Whatever, shut up.